change the network architecture in a way so that you can get the properties in networks that you have in compute when it comes to things like operational simplicity, software evolvability, programmability. And so that work that I did with my advisor, Nick McCune, and Scott Shanker, who's a professor at Berkeley, ended up laying the foundation for what was later termed, I think in 2009, software-defined networking.
All right, so that whole OpenFlow software-defined networking, we can credit or blame you for that.
There was a lot of people involved, but yeah, I was there.
Martine, man, that's great. So Martine, what's your passion and why VMware?
So, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of problems in networking as we try and push them into the cloud era. This is not what they were built for. And so, you know, this is the opportunity to change that and to move it there. So my passion is really making networks cloud ready, and what better place to do it than the most important software infrastructure company on the planet.
Wow, so VMware is it. So Martine, you know, I've been throwing engineers at you guys as fast as I possibly could, giving you computers as fast as I possibly could, and you've been working and slaving on this thing called NSX. I gotta know, what is it? Tell us about it.
Sure. Okay, so fortunately, the concepts here are very simple and similar to ESX. So I'm just gonna go ahead and step through an animation. So you have a data center, and in a data center, you have switches, which on the switches, of course, are attached servers. And in a virtualized data center, those servers will run ESX, and on top of those, a vSwitch. So what NSX does is, from within the position of the vSwitch, non-disruptively, in a way that you don't have to change the hardware, you don't have to reconfigure the hardware, it will create what you can think of as a network hypervisor. So now I'm going to start the analogy. So let's think about ESX. What is ESX? ESX is a software layer that sits on top of the hardware and sits there between the operating system and the hardware. And it exposes a virtual machine. And this becomes the focal point of operations. We've changed the concept of a server from hardware to software, and because it's software, we get all the operational benefits that we've come to learn and love for virtual machines. So NSX does the same thing for the network. So it'll expose virtual networks. So virtual networks look like physical networks. They support existing workloads. They'll support L2 and L3, L4 through 7 service chains. So they look like physical networks, but they have the operational model of a VM. You can create them dynamically. You can configure them programmatically. You can snapshot them, and rewind them, and move them around. You can clone them. So this really is taking the virtualization operational model and bringing it to networking.
Wow, that's very cool. So just like the little clusters of VMs in the networking domain.
That's it.